All right, let's get this party started. Hey everybody, I'm Seeking Liberty Studios, and this is my second live stream. We're continuing from the last live stream where we were going through the Godot tutorial with a common idea that I would remake one of my old games. I did mention that I was going to make a game dev Bible last stream, and I kind of just left my mind as soon as I started thinking about it. I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own separate video about that, and that'll be one of my first content videos. But for this live stream, until we run out of an idea of it, I'm just going to take a Godot tutorial, and then I'm going to turn it into an actual game, one of my old games, cat curtains. Cats fighting each other on curtains. Um, but for now, I'm learning Godot from scratch. Well, close to scratch. I started learning it last month. But I'm just going through it, going through tutorial, and see where we take it from. Off, we got here we got our button in place. Got some UI made. But we also have a main game controller and a player and some creeps running around from the Godot website, which is good. Yeah, we go. Some creeps popping around, and if you touch it, you disappear. Boop. There currently is no win-lose condition yet, but that's okay. And I think we're currently in the part where we're handling the UI and adding in that loop. And once we finish up this tutorial, we'll start switching over to see if we can add some extra effects to this to learn about how, see if we can learn anything about particle effects or anything like that. We'll take it from there. I'll worry about the errors later. Okay, so let's continue on with the documentation here. Always read your documentation. In this case, it's a tutorial. Okay, so the final piece of our game needs a user interface to display, score, meshes, and HUD. So let's go back to our HUD here. So we went ahead and created our canvas layer, which is this piece here. And by the way, this tutorial is on Godot Engine's website, Godot docs.godotengine.org. You can find a tutorial there for it. Create a scene and click the other node button at a canvas layer named HUD, stands for heads up display, informational display that appears and overlay canvas layer node. Let's just draw UI elements. The rest of the game. Okay. Needs to display the following score timer. All right, we already got a meshes timer, score label, message, and start button. Cool. What is this one? We went ahead and updated the fonts. Made mine a little bit bigger, a little bit different. Didn't have to, but I did. I went ahead and added these fonts to make it all distinct. Let's see. Went ahead and anchored them with this piece here. You know what? Let's go ahead and group these pieces together. Allows me to do it. I guess that doesn't need it. All right, so we got the text set up, the start button. Look like we need to add some code for the start button. And you're under control, layout. Layout, we want to make sure the size is set to 200 by 200. Oh, did that already. 200 by 100. Cool. And on the message timer, set the wait time to 2. Cool. Now add a script to the HUD, which is the canvas layer. Go ahead and hit this little add attaching a new existing script node, little script button on the top of it. And earlier, last stream, I created a couple files for myself. I'll go ahead and hit this here. I created a prefab nodes, created scenes for like levels, and then I created the script folder because I know there's specifically scripts for doing this. All right, so HUD, scripts, HUD. Okay, cool. What I like to do is go ahead and define a class name for it. Cool. And we're going to need a signal. I talked about this last stream, and I know I kind of rambled on a little bit about it. Me, the kind of Hunter explained, there's people who probably explain a lot better than I do, but the way I understand it is um, you tell Godot, hey, I want you, whenever this event happens, whenever you emit this signal, nodes with this type of function, uh, whatever function you define, say, hey, I've got a function called func display on run game or whatever. When you say, hey, you tell that you give a list of functions to the start game signal, and whenever it emits, it runs these functions. And not all nodes need to have that function for it to work, which is great. Got a signal start game, which is great. And this is going to be used to let main know when start button is pressed. So we're gonna probably end up putting in main attach a function in here, say, hey, start this. All right, we want to display mention such as get ready, so we add the following code. So there, we added a function called show underscore message text. I'm assuming it's the same text. Message dot show, and we have the message timer. I'm wondering if what this tutorial is going to have is have the disable function linked up to the message emit timer. Oop, got our semicolon here. Okay. We also we also need to process what happens when the player loses. The code will below show game over for 2 seconds, then return tunnel screen after a brief pause and start button. So we got a function to say show game over, show message. Oh, good. That's a helper function. Over. I'm going to put a space on each side. Ooh, await functions. That's great. All right, so awaits, what they do is it causes this function to pause at this step while the rest of the program keeps running. Then it will continue on after the timer is done, which is great. So we're not listening for, so they're not going to signal route, going the rate route, await route, which is great. Message.text. We'll say dodge the creeps. Great. Then show the message. And get free dot create timer timeout. Now I wonder if this only makes it, see what this great timer does. Scene tree timer. Returns a scene timer which will emit a timeout. Okay, so it's after giving time seconds to elapse in the scene tree. If always if the process is set to false, pausing the scene tree will always also pause the timer. Process of fixes is set to true will also update the scene tree timer during the physics time frame instead of process frame. Hmm. So what if only sex get tree in timer tree? Okay, which will it be? Okay, one shot timer managed by the scene tree, which is the top node, which emits timeouts on completion. Also, as the post timer, it does not require initiation of a node, commonly used to create a one shot delay. Okay, the timer will be dereferenced after its time elapsed and preserve timer. Keep it. You can keep a reference to it so you ref count it. Timer process after all the nodes in the current frame. Those process method will be called before the timer. Not 100% sure if it's preventing anything else from running. I think it just pauses that function from running, but everything else keeps going. So I think. Oh, I'm going to go with that for now. I'll probably explain it here in a minute. And then start button dot. But this is only for the game over, so it's not too big of a deal. Wonder why there's a second delay between dodge to creep and the start button showing again. Cool. All right, so that's that. All right, so when this function is called, when the player loses, it will show game over for 2 seconds, then return to the screen title screen after a brief pause. Show the start button. Okay. It would just create a random pause. That's fine. Put the code to the HUD and update the score. Okay. Score. Update score. All right. Label. Next. That's how you cast in Godot. Wonderful. STR, put a wrap around it. I'm cool with that. Oop. Proper formatting. And forgot my colon again. Keep losing that colon. Okay. Connect the pressed signal of the start button and the timeout signal of the message timer. Add the following code. Okay, so we're going to add quick. We're going to touch this. We'll go to the nodes, go to signals. All right, so pressed. Cool. We got the HUD code here, pressed, on start button pressed. So we're going to create a function in the HUD script called this, and it's going to be stored into the pressed signal. So now we got a reference here. Pressed, which makes sense. We want to hide the start button and start game underscore dot emit. All right, so in the main, we're going to end up having this signal stand out. We're going to have a function in main that is how we connected the pressed button here in this script. We also want to do this for the message timer. Do this on the timeout, on the HUD. That's hide. Cool beans. All right, now that we're done creating the HUD scene, go back to main, instance, HUD scene, main, like you did in the player scene. The scene tree should look like this. So we need to add this HUD to main. Which is great. I have a HUD right here. And now we need to connect to start game. Now when you connect the HUD functionality to the main script, this requires a few additions to main. In the node tab, start game, signal new game. Do we have a function already? There we go. Okay, so to give you an idea of what's going on here, when I decide to connect to a signal from HUD and attach it to main, I can click here, pick on the right hand corner here, and I'm sorry guys, if my stream seems a little off, I'm seeing getting lots of random issues. So I'm going to try to edit this, and if it seems like an off stream, forgive me. I'm still learning about the audio portions of things. Okay. All right, sorry. Where was I? Let me just repeat that. So if you you select the main here, is where you want the function to come from for the signal. It says, all right, I want to use new game, and hit OK and connect. And so new game will have will be called when start game is emitted. In the node tab, connect to game, new game, click and pick, connect to signal. Below the receiver method, a better name for it. This is a receiver method. Great. Window verify that the green connection has been an icon. A little green icon right there. This says, hey, this is a receiver node. Sorry, a receiver method. Verify the green connection, new game. In the new game, update Discord display to show get ready message. Okay, so we're just going to have the HUD. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, so we're saying, hey, you HUD. So we're going to here, we're grabbing this dollar sign is the same thing as get node. And we're going to say update underscore store. Now, did I name that correctly? Yeah, right now. Update score. Well, since I don't have it as an this is another reason why I like to store these into objects. Because if I went var HUD HUD. And then I would type HUD dot update score. I much prefer to do it like that, but you can do it like a onReady function, and then you just say hey equals oops HUD oops yeah update score uh, do, 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 do. I'll run to the background, but what I can do here is put a breakpoint and make sure it comes through. I'm pretty sure it's going to throw an error if it's not there anyways, but I just want to be sure. Okay, so we got HUD update score, and then we have HUD go underscore message get ready. All right, so that's a new game. Let's go up here to new. Now it's saying over here in game over, I'm gonna add HUD dot go is there a show game over? There is. I wonder why it's not showing. Oh well, not a big deal. Okay. Corresponding HUD function. Finally add on-score timer timeout to keep display in sync with changing scores. All right. So on the on-score timer timeout, we're going to go ahead and update the score. So when everything's as it's going through, so I'm going to do HUD dot update score. Cool. Remember to remove the call new game from ready if you haven't already, otherwise you'll start the game automatically. Okay, so we need to make sure we disable this. Otherwise, we don't want to start the game right away. We want to start when we hit the start button. So let's go ahead and hit the current game button. And let's hit start. Cool thing about this, this is why I like Godot. They have built-in editors. So I'm going to step over. Cool. Looks like it's working, so I'm going to hit the continue button. Cool beans. So it's got a nice little delay to it. And what happens if I die? Duke, game over. Cool. So far, that's what's supposed to happen. Now we have to worry about the old creeps because they're still there, which is fine. I think we can remove them once. Like, they've removed themselves, but we don't want them to be there if we start again. So we'll see if we can go get that removed now. All right, so see if we can look at the removal creeps. If you play to a game over and then start a new game right away, the creeps in the previous game may still be on the screen, which makes sense what I just said. We just need a way to tell all the mobs to remove themselves. We can do this by the group feature and the mob scene. So let's go back to the mob scene we created. Click on the mob, go to groups, select the node, click the node tab, and then next to things we click groups. That's what we did. Now all mobs will be in the mobs group. So what we want to do is go to add mobs. There we go. So every single one of these will be in the group of mobs. Which is great. And we'll now see, now all mobs will be in the group of mobs. Then we can add the following line to the new game in function main. New game, okay. Get tree. All group mobs. Now, I didn't know this. I didn't know it had this kind of functionality. Say, hey, go to all these and just delete yourselves. QU3. Which is great. I love that. I'm glad I'm doing these tutorial series through live stream. Bunch of neat little things like that I love about Godot. And I only started learning Godot about a month or two ago. Okay, running around. And boop, game over. And let's start as soon as we can. Boop, and they removed themselves. Great. Awesome. Let's do it one more time. Cool. All right. Keep hitting the start button. I shouldn't do that. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that is certainly neat. Okay, so the next part of this tutorial is going to say add background and looping music and some keyboard shortcuts. I don't know how Livestream handles that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to worry about the sound portion of it yet. Once I understand it more better and how I go about having that, because I don't want to just blurt it out. We'll see. Okay. I think if it's just for like a 1 second or 2 second, I'll turn the audio on for at the very end of it. We'll see how it turns out. All right, so now this is for the effects. We got the core gameplay loop in, which is great. We got the death in. We got the loose condition. We got that stuff in. Completed the functionality for our game. Below the remaining steps to add a bit more juice to improve the game experience. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add a color rect. Go to main, 2D. So make the first node under main so that it can be drawn. So here, default gray is not very appealing, so let's change this color. One way to do this is to use color rect node. make it the first node under main, so they'll be drawn behind the other nodes. Okay, add child node, color rect. Cool. And we can go put it. Oop. Okay. Vector. See how that looks. Bright orange. How's it look on the live stream though? Okay, that's good enough. All right, choose a color and select layout. And here we go, layout, anchor presets. Any anchor pre, there we go. And we're going to want to do full rect. Okay, so it's anchored to all corners, one solid color, matches our screen at all times. Yes, so full rect, great. And you can, and let's see here. Do I have a background image? You know what? I'll turn this black. Whoop. Cool. And then I'll add my own images. How about that? Dropship. Is there any art here I can use? Nope. That's okay. A new folder. Art. Go in here and add in a go ahead and add in texture rec. Neato. Neato. Drag and drop it in there. Layout. I'm going to do the whole thing. That looks like. Cool beans. Oop. All right, that was just a fun background. Nothing too important about that one. Default the gray background is not very appealing, so let's change this color. One way to do this is the color rect. Got it fixed already. And sound effects. Okay. I think this must be an effective way to add game art. Add to audio stream player. The main. I'm gonna make a audio player. There we go, that one. All right. Where's the top? And let's see how we do the stream player. One and two. Got one for music. Rename for music. Music. Great. I might move these effects over to player. I want the player to live or die. Well, yeah, I may move these over to player, but let's see how it starts out here because the way it's going. All right. All right. All audio is set to important loop setting disabled. If you want the music to loop seamlessly, click on the stream arrow and make unique. All right, so we want stream. Well, I guess we want audio stream. Okay. Don't think that's it. On the second. Add two new audio stream players, nodes of children main. Name one of them music, other one death. Click on stream property, click load audio file. There we go. That makes more sense. Art. Death, I think. Click it and okay, all audio is automatically imported with the loop setting disabled. Okay. Well, we don't want death to be looped. Yeah, we want that. That one's fine. We want to go to music. Load. Right here. Open. And this one, loop is not on, so we're going to make unique and say loop og Vorbis. Cool. All right, you got one that's looping when it's not. Play music, add to play music at the start. Script here on new game. Wait. All right, so we want add music play to new game. Right. Oh, well, they have it at the bottom. I'll do what they do. Music dot up. Wait. One. Music dot up. All right. Death. Play. Cool. Cool. All right. I'm going to play it real quick on my own, see if it works. And if it does, I'll turn it back on, play it real quick, then turn my audio back off. Okay, cool. It does work. So I'm going to turn my desktop audio on for a second. All right. Turn it down for 1 minute. There we go. Try again. Cool beans. All right. I'm going to turn it back off. I'm not going to do that again for a bit, but just a couple seconds should be fine. And this is for education purposes, so don't copyright strike me. Oh no, did my camera freeze up? That's not good. Yep. Camera mic for stuff. I can get that going again. Okay, we were playing music. All right, I got some music going. I got loop in the background to play, and I got a VEF sound to play. So let's see what's next in the steps. I think there's not much else left to do with this tutorial. And that's when we start adding our own little twist to it. So here, we're going to add some keyboard shortcuts, which is project settings, input map. I'm going to say start underscore game. So we got, want to use the enter key. Cool. Now, a good time to add a controller support if you're available. Attach it to what we don't have controller support right now. Is D-pad or stick direction. In the inspector, create a new shortcut. So select the start button. So I guess we go back to HUD, select the start button. Add element. And create a new input event action. Nope. And this is pretty handy to have. Okay. Let's add a new array element by clicking the array, say 0. Okay. Go ahead and save this one. HUD. Okay, second. I'm missing something here. In the HUD scene, select the start button, find a shortcut in the inspector, create a new shortcut but a resource by clicking within the box, open the events array, add a new array by clicking the array input. Now, when the start button appears, you can click it or hit enter. Oh, okay. So that's just it. So when we have the shortcut here with enter 2D, this start button, whenever I hit enter, it's just going to act like I had clicked it, which is great. So let's go to main here, hit play. Oop. And I'm going to hit enter. Wonderful. I'm going to go to music here. See if I can turn this down in user. Volume. There we go. Turn that down. On my side, I'm just going to turn it down. This is for my sake. It's a little loud through my headphones. Beans. All right. Love it. And cool beans. On randomly around the game board, count the score, implement game over, user interface, always congratulations. Cool beans. All right, so that's it for the tutorial side of things. Now I'm just going to add some own stuff to it because I want to learn. Before I do that, I would encourage you to either like this video, comment, even subscribe. I would appreciate it. All right, moving on. All right, see here. I'm thinking about adding a health system to it. So let's look into doing health. Now, I'm not completely all-knowing about what's the best way to do this, and I might learn it and revisit this later. But for now, I think what I want to do is add a health counter, and every time it gets hit, then I'll have a timer saying, hey, you're invisible for so many seconds, and then it clicks back on. All right, let's see here. This with the player. Let's see here. Do we want a separate node for health? Look at the code and see what we got going on with the code here. We got speed and appearance, byted entered, appearance is false. Hit. So I do have an emit button for hit, which is good. Look at the signal node for hit here, but let's look at this scene. Player hit on player hit is the in the main gameplay loop. We have it on player hit. On player hit main call. Cool. So in this scene, we have an on player hit, which is fine. And it just says game over. Is there player reference anywhere? Nope, we just got this player, which is fine. So what we could do is add a method called to player and say, hey, are you still alive? And then run game over. So let's do that. Let's first set up the, let me see if I can pull up my old notepad here. Word pad. So you want player health, player hit, lose 1 health, timer of invents, time of invulnerable. Forgive my spelling, I suck at it. Get on it. Indestructible. Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. Then Alright, so the timer instructable. Cool. And then we want the main check to see if alive. Not. Game over. Cool. Alrighty then, I think that will do it. So let's first start with this. And we may add an effect here, but I don't think we'll get that to the night. Because we got an hour left. Yeah, I got an hour left to do my live stream. Last time I did 2.5 hours, and I think that pushed me a little bit too much. And I'm thinking I'm probably only going to do 2 streams a week and do 2 hours each because I want to make normal content videos. Okay. See here. Appearance faults. And see, I made a helper function here. Which hides the player. I don't think that's going to be useful anymore. So let's go ahead and say get export var max health equals 4. Then have var current health is 0. I'm going to make that an M. Go down here on that player. Current health equals max health, which is great. And sets his position, which is great. Not worried about that. Set up the cool. So now we got the. Go ahead and just minimize that one. So I think I need to change this to show and collide. Yeah, I'll do that. Who is No, I don't think that makes any sense to set that there. We only want to set that when he dies. So I don't. No, that's got to be its own function. Let's not do that. Let's just create a separate function so that I break that out because it's got its own purpose. If you remember my career of software development, the idea behind the solid principles is pretty much single responsibility. The whole responsibility of this is to say, hey, when you need to hide this character out of sight without removing it, that's the point of that function. But we're not doing that right now. So, because we want to make sure it's not appearing and not colliding, we want to make sure it's, this is the part we want to concern about. This requires its own function. When we set the player, we want it to appear and start colliding, but here, this doesn't really match up. So This is where we go. If mob. Oh. Yeah, I wonder how this is going to affect when we have, like, if we hit 2 at once, does it just double count it? Um, I don't think it will, because how it loops through. Because if the signals are singular in purpose, they're not asynchronous, I think it should be fine. And I don't think the loops themselves are asynchronous. Not the loops, the signals, excuse me. I don't think the signals are asynchronous, so I think we're fine. But I can look at it real quick. Always check your documentation. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find signal. Open signal, built-in type. Signal is a built-in variant type. It references a signal object instance. Like all variant types, it can be stored in variables and passed to functions. Signals allow connected callables. Okay, and extension with respect to objects to listen and react to events without directly referencing to one another. This keeps the code flexible and easier to manage. Yeah, that sounds just like a delegate. Sorry if I made the big stink at last stream. I was trying to understand it. This sounds just like a normal C# delegate to me. So when I read the tutorial online, it's like, oh, it doesn't necessarily mean it's there, which technically that could be true, but I think that's overthinking it a bit. So really, just overthinking it. Fine. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Okay. So we're going to do current health minus equal 1. Then if make a function called actually, what we could do is create a signal. We'll create a signal for talk to main, so we'll do that separately. Not on player hit, but on dead. We'll do that one. We'll do that instead. First, let's handle the health situation. Minus equals 1. Current health is greater than less than 0. Less than or equal to 0. Commit we're getting hit either way. Cool. And we'll do this a little bit differently. Okay. A timing issue here. Now we want to so we made a hit signal, but we might want to change we could do the health on the player side and say, hey, if you're dead, emit dead. Could also do with that is if it's just a hit, then we emit the hit, which is fine. I think we emit the hit regardless and only emit dead. Yes, but we're also going to have an invincibility timer, so pass is fine for now. We'll get to the invincibility timer in a minute. Okay, yes. So we're first going to test this real quick to make sure it does it, but I'm going to do a print function here. Dead. But yet. Go. So let's test that real quick. And I need to go back to the main here. Player. Yeah, let's see here. Player. Game over. Say we don't want that. So let's go ahead and just add a simple function to handle that. Doing this wrong. I'm going to fix this here in a second. I don't want to keep using this. This is just a... Here. This is temporary, just to keep the ball rolling. Okay, so... Cool. Oops. Thing. This thing. All right. One. See the hit down here, bottom left corner of my thing. 2, 3. All right, now I'm dead. Good, because the main's saying, hey, no, you're dead now. Run. Which I think that's good enough for the dead situation. Yeah, that's fine. Go back to player over here. All right. Now we want to set up, this is what happens when you die, make it disappear. But over here, we want to set the invincibility timer. So go ahead and create a new hit timer. See here. What I'll do is I'll come up here and I'll add another bool. Can be it equals bool equals true. We want to make sure when we set the player, Um, can be hit equals if can be hit. Right. All right. Well, I think regardless of what happens, I think you should be able to hit even if they're dead, just to keep things good here. Can be hits is false. I could use Collider. If Collider dot disabled, then we go up here and say, well, disable that collider. Then we set the timer to start. All right, so we got the collider disabled. And we check, what can we check with this timer? Is stopped. Look up that symbol, see what that does. Okay, how about paused? Return 0. Time left. Return seconds is inactive. Oh, that sounds a lot better. If this paused. We're going to say we'll go with timeout. We'll go with time left equals 0. Yeah, we'll go to time left. 0. And yeah. So if time left equals 0, so in other words, it's never ran or whatever, we'll put a pause button right there to see if it does anything. That way the hit timer is in control of it. I don't have to write any extra functions to turn anything on or off. Here. Cool. Now I need to add a function to this timer when it stops. So clear on hit timer timeout connect. We want to if player is not dead, and disabled is false. Cool. And so let's make sure we got the player set player correct. So the player's current mouth equals max, great. Set the position, great. Appearance, it shows can be hit. This is no longer needed because I was overthinking it, but that's good. The hit timer dot reset. Yeah, that's all right. So we go back to inspector. Right. It is a one shot. And wait time is, let's go with half a second. Right, all right. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Time remain. Player dead. I'm not sure if I like that or not, but that's okay. Especially if I can do multiplayer. Run project. Okay. Hit. Cool beans. So I'm going to hit continue here. I don't know what happened there. Try this again. Hmm. Breaking something. You know what? I think I was trying to do all that stuff at once. There we go. That's better. I had it 4 times. I got hit 4 times. And I had invincibility timer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and print. Ready to be hit. Hit. No biting in this game yet. Um, can't be hit. Okay. All right, so go here. Boop, can't be hit. Ready to be hit. Boop, can't be hit. Boop, boop, can't be hit. 1, 2, 3, and then last one didn't trigger. So let's make sure that triggers. Dead. So far, we're getting the logic I'm looking for. All right, 1, 2. Getting multiple dead clicks there. Dead. Okay. Interesting. True. Label true. Player dead. Yeah, I need to do a dead signal instead of a hit signal, which is fine. But let's do a dead signal instead of a hit signal because it's causing that multiple. And I don't think I'll need a actual. I mean, I'll put a pass in there for now into the main function, main gameplay function here. But I need to connect to a node that's signal player signal hit signal died. And eventually I'll probably separate this out to be like, oh yeah, we need a separate controller for handling multiple players. But for now, I think this is fine. It's just to get the job done and to make sure we see the loop through. I'm going to go ahead and put this here next to it. There we go. All right. Go. Yeah, for now. We'll have some sounds play when it's ready. Okay. Now we have a hit emit, but if it's dead, we're just going to return. But before that, we're going to say die.emit. All right, cool. What else is there? That's just a player. It's not going to show. Excuse me. Okay. 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm not doing? I'm returning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Disable defaults. Here. I want to see what the last one that clicks off because something's turning that back on. I would like to know which one. All right, continue. Oop. Dead. Okay. Great. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. Hmm. Okay, so it's doing it again. This is the second time. Okay. I think that's my problem. And it is triggering it a second time because it's already dead before it has a chance to completely disable everything. Okay. So I need to turn this off. It is being turned off before it happens. Well, that's interesting. So it's double tapping it. Probably in the same frame. Okay. Interesting. So I'm going to type in bull is dead equals false. And then bull is dead. This is just to see if that is the actual issue, because I don't know how the physics systems exactly work. True. I need to set this default sunset player. Okay. Try that again. Oh, you probably guys are wondering what the heck am I doing? And what was happening was it was double triggering the dead. Sorry, I forgot my audio was turned off. Forgive me. Not used to this live streaming. I'm just talking to you guys like they like know what's going on, but you guys didn't hear the sound that was going on. You know, I probably could turn down the music and play the noises, which would be fine. I'll do that. I just turn their volume. Test that out. Test up. Cool. All right. Rock on. Um. Okay, cool. So we got that set up. Now we need to add a actual health UI for the player. And I think this is where the HUD comes into play, and the HUD would need to subscribe to such a thing. 2D here. So let's see what tools they have available here on the HUD. 2D. Here, bar. Progress bar. All right. Look up the Godot progress bar. Documentation is your best friend. Okay, control used for visual representation of percentage. And control used for visual representation of percentage shows fill percentage from right to left. Cool. So it's just type it in again. Operations. Fill mode. Okay, well, let's wing ding it. Min value, max value is 4 for now. We got the player set the health 4. Step is 1. Is 4. Layout. No, let's not do that. Let's do top left. And that if grid view, the value will always be rounded to multiple values. If rounded, it is true. Value will be the first rounded multiples. I have no idea what that means. Figured out here in a second. Here does 3 do. Ah. Cool beans. So we'll leave it at that for now. I'm gonna go down here to, let's go layout, transform, theme, do the other one. Theme override. Overrides, fonts. Go to load. Oops. Cool. And we want sizes to be 100%. Very sci-fi, but whatever. Went along rather well. And then once we'll also add in a sound effect here in a bit for when they get hit. I have to go find that. Cool. And cool. Let's see here. Is any color way to do it visible? Font color. Hmm. There a texture progress. Okay. There we go. Cool. So under, over, green. Wonder. Excuse me. New. Hmm. Don't even know what these means yet. Uh. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hmm. That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess I'm going to have to look at this. Look this up real quick. Let's see here. Zinva or GameDevAcademy.org. Let's see what they got saying going. Using a var value to interact with, interacting in progress bar via signals, animating progress bars. That's not helpful yet. Hmm. Not showing, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete the texture bar here because interesting. I don't know how you styles. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. You have a texture on this flat. Make it man. Simple things like that throw me off sometimes. Let's make it a nice darker. That's the background. Oh wait, no, we want the background to be red. And we want a nice flat style here. To be a nice. Then we want the font color here. Alrighty then. There, that took longer than it should have. Sorry, guys. So, look past it in documentation, but it's under style. So, in the progress bar, underneath, control, theme overrides, colors. Sorry, theme overrides, styles. And that. Forgive me. We can add a new image background here as well. But we're good. We're good. Not worried about it. Oh, there. We want to have this top. And okay, cool. Cool. All right, yeah, we want to anchor it in the left-hand corner up here. We want it moving around. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and play over here. There we go. It's right up there. We'll probably want to hide that. Let's go to HUD. Script here. All right, so we're going to show game over. We want the, I'll rename this to the health bar. We want the health bar to hide on show message. Rest. Start game email. Great. Want the health bar to go. Might need to move that, but on ready, we will just want to. Yeah. Ready. Yeah, we just wanted to hide when it first comes up because that's not part of the main game. Player. 2D. Go ahead and start this scene and it pops up. Not there. Start. There it is. Not connected to anything. We got the points going. That's okay. Got a player here. Let's look at what we have. A it. Fine. So now it's a good time to show how we can do like an export and attach it directly, or we can do like, hey, go get this node. But I think Passing player data, mob timer, score timer, mob GD. Here's where we want to update the HUD. So we got the player hit. Let's see here. Timeout score. Player hit. Functions that we. Okay, so I'm going to have a function here called update. Set the health bar dot value equals to and main. Cool. Okay, now we go to the HUD. Actually got a variable for it already. HUD dot update. Update health bar. Player dot current health. Player hit with current health. And then when player dies, say, hey, 0. All right, let's try. $25, $50, and there we go. And that's where the cool. Now we need to reset it. Yep. Cool. So let's go in there and reset it. Do reset it. Go to HUD. New game. All right, so this should be right after the player is set. Go in here, say set player, type in new health. Let's try that again. Duke, 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 Duke. Cool. Dead. Start. 100% again. And oh, 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 oh. Cool. All right. So it shows the highest score up top there, which is great. So I think going forward, I think next time around, in the next live stream, I don't have enough time now, but I may start adding little effects and hit animations. And then I'll probably start drawing some art to change into cats. I don't know how I feel about it being a time thing. I might do a countdown timer instead of a count up timer. Oh, does a timer have tick in it? player, yeah. One chat node timer. It just has a timer. Which, you know, I could have its own little separate clock for it and have it where it increments down to 0. But for now, it's looking pretty good. Sorry about the audio system. Still new to streaming. Forgive me for that one port there where I was just la 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 la. But on the good note there, we made great progress making some good some good progress on the code side of things and getting things connected. We got the game loop together. We made good we had a health bar added to it, which didn't add much time. I think next time around, I'm going to start adding a little bit different sound effects when the player is actually hit, not just when he dies. And then we'll start adding different textures and different sprites. All right, so some side notes here. I think going forward, I like the idea of what I'm currently doing of I did a stream last Wednesday and I did a stream tonight. I like doing streams on Wednesday nights and Friday nights from 9 to 11 Eastern time. I know 2 hours isn't that long, but I think it fits my perfect schedule. Go along with the idea of short and sweet streams of just a coding session and having people to join in and give their opinions once my channel starts growing a little more. Yeah, really am enjoying this. I think the direction of the channel I want to go with, wouldn't necessarily tutorials necessarily, but more of just game design and just having fun with coding and while we're going through that. I'm not going to be doing grand tutorials, more just, hey, I'm coding this section. You can follow me along while I'm coding it. And I'll have content. I'm thinking about doing more just, hey, this is what I've learned, and have more of a journey oriented. And if you could support me on that journey, I'd be very grateful. Yep, that's it. All right, so if y'all can like, share, subscribe, comment, I would appreciate feedback. If you notice any things I did wrong, or hey, you're completely wrong about what you said about this subject, let me know in the comments. I'm open to improving. I'm open to listening. I will do my best to do good by you. So, y'all have a good one.